Have you ever really stopped to think about something as simple as making a phone call? We do it all the time, right? But what's actually happening behind the scenes is, well, it's kind of like a piece of modern magic. So today we're going to pull back that curtain and see how it all works. I mean, it really does feel instant, doesn't it? You punch in a number and boom, a voice from across town, or even halfway around the world, is right there in your ear. So how on earth does that actually happen? How does your voice travel through what seems like thin air and arrive perfectly on the other side? Let's follow the journey, right from the moment you say hello. Okay, so let's picture it. You're just hanging out at home, you pick up your phone and call a friend who's miles and miles away. You say one word, just hello, and that one little word kicks off this incredible high-speed journey. It's not magic, of course, but it's this brilliant process of transformation that starts the second that sound leaves your lips. So, the very first leg of this journey happens right there inside your phone. Your voice, which is really just sound, has to get translated into a language that machines can actually understand and send. Here's the first thing you gotta understand. Your words aren't actually what's traveling. Nope, it's the vibrations they create in the air. Seriously, think about dropping a pebble into a calm pond and watching those ripples spread out. That's pretty much exactly what your voice does to the air around you. And it's those physical vibrations that your phone grabs first. And this all happens in a quick 3-step transformation. First, you speak, creating those sound waves. Second, the little microphone in your phone acts like a translator, turning those physical waves into an electrical signal. And finally, a tiny microchip finishes the job by converting that signal into pure digital data, just a long stream of ones and zeros. And just like that, your voice isn't sound anymore, it's a language any computer can understand. All right, so now that your voice has been converted into digital data, it's ready to hit the road. But it doesn't just float around hoping to find its way. Oh no. It follows a very specific, super fast pathway through this absolutely massive network. So the moment your voice is digital, your phone sends a signal blasting out to the nearest cell tower. That's called a BTS. You can think of that tower as like the local branch office. It then passes the signal up the chain of command to its manager, the base station controller, or BSC. And the BSC sends it to the big boss, the mobile switching center, the MSC. And the MSC, well, this thing is the absolute brain of the entire network. It's the central command hub that checks if your call is legit, figures out where the person you're calling is, and then maps out the best possible path for your data to take. It's so important that if an MSC ever goes down, it can actually cause a huge service outage for a whole region. Yeah, a really great way to picture it is as a super smart traffic controller for a gigantic digital highway. It sees your destination, the number you dialed, and in an instant, it calculates the clearest, fastest route to get your call exactly where it needs to go. Now, the route that our traffic controller chooses, it really all depends on one big question. Is the person you're calling on the same mobile network as you, or are they on a different one? Because that can totally change the path your voice takes. Right, this is where it gets even more interesting. If your call has to literally jump from your network over to a competitor's network, there are a few extra steps involved to make sure it doesn't just get lost out there in the static. So the path really changes a lot. See, if you're calling someone on the same network, your MSC just handles everything itself. It's all internal. But if they're on a different network, your call gets sent to what's called a gateway MSC. Think of that as an airport for phone calls, connecting all the different airlines or carriers. That gateway then has to ask the other network's database, its HLR and VLR, hey, where's your customer at? Only after it gets an answer can a voice channel be opened that actually travels across both networks to connect you. Now, this whole incredibly complex system of routing and connecting, it's not standing still. Not at all. The technology that powers our calls is constantly evolving. It's getting faster and smarter and way more reliable with every single new generation. I mean, we hear terms like 4G and 5G thrown around all the time, right? Well, that G, it's simple. It just stands for generation. And each new generation represents a massive leap forward in how fast and efficient this whole process can be. And 5G is a really big deal. It's not just about getting faster downloads on your phone. For voice calls, it promises something called ultra-low latency. That basically means that tiny, sometimes awkward delay between when you speak and when the other person hears you, it's almost completely gone. This is what makes video calls feel so much more natural, and it's absolutely crucial for the future of things like competitive online gaming and even self-driving cars.
So let's just recap that whole mind-bending journey. Your voice becomes a vibration, which becomes an electrical signal, which becomes digital data. That data zips through towers and switching centers, it jumps across networks if it has to, gets totally rebuilt on the other end, and is turned back into sound in your friend's ear. And that entire process happens in less than 1 second.
When you really break it all down, it is truly amazing. We've taken something that was once literally impossible, instant communication over long distances, and turned it into something we barely even think about. It really makes you wonder, what's next? What's the next impossible thing? The next bit of science fiction that technology is going to make just another simple, everyday part of our lives?